Hey, my friend. Today, March 7th, 2026, I'm in Guangzhou with my girlfriend at her mom's home. So, I spent a really fantastic day with some friends. In the morning, I went to the talent park and just met some really cool people. I learned about AI agents and just their personal life. Yeah, I just talked to a bunch of people, a lot to process. And the afternoon, I just wrote a lot and just try to figure out how can I use AI to build the agents to just facilitate my workflow. Now let me just read in Selling Simple for just a few minutes. The search for Microsoft's values. Just about every company has a mission statement of some sort, an official, an official set of words that describes who it is, what it does, and its reason for existing. Most agencies would consider having this document to be an essential first step toward creating an effective brand campaign. Yet no one ever bothered to ask Steve for a mission statement before we created the Think Different campaign. That's because he had already given us a briefing from the heart, and even though the company was in serious trouble, its brand essence was well known. If anyone had asked him to hand over such a document, Steve would probably have considered it big company behavior anyway. We might even have been fortunate enough to see his rotating turret in action. Working with Dell was a different story. This was a company that wasn't very good at describing itself. Had it been able to articulate its brand essence, we could have begun working on a brand campaign immediately. Instead, we had to spend the first few weeks of our brand project figuring out who Dell wanted it to be, because who it was at the moment wasn't working too well. Microsoft is another company that's done its share of floundering over the years. Like Dell, it started out setting the world on fire, then somehow lost its direction. It's still huge and highly profitable, but many of its customers would probably find it difficult to define the Microsoft brand today. While it was once the innovator and setter of standards, Microsoft has lagged behind as revolutions have swept both the smartphone and tablet categories. This sad state is reflected in its stock price, which has been stagnant for over a decade. Microsoft's marketing has been spotty for at least as long. Once in a while, it manages to strike a chord. Then, before you know it, it embarrasses itself with something like the legendary pairing of Bill Gates and Jerry Seinfeld, in a series of TV commercials. Efforts like this fall flat and leave people scratching their heads. Microsoft didn't sprout these marketing problems overnight. It's been battling them for years. A former marketing manager for Microsoft tells a story about a critical time in the company's past when new layers of complexity caused it to drift. For the sake of our tale, let's call him Brian. When he joined the company, Brian truly loved his job. What he liked most about Microsoft was that they did things. That is, the company understood that it was part of a fast-moving industry and didn't waste valuable time getting hung up on debate. Like Apple, Microsoft understood the value of staying in motion. It was brash too. The executive team knew it could execute faster and smarter than its competitors and considered this one of the great strategic advantages. Brian loved this aspect of life at Microsoft because it was in such direct contrast to his experience with HP when he worked with its ad agency. He had observed that at HP, process had become more important than progress. It was all about when the next meeting was going to take place and what kind of muffins might be served with the coffee. There seemed to be more concern about HP than what was going on in its customers' world, he said. It was the Department of Justice investigation of Microsoft that sucked the life out of the company over the 2-year period starting in 1999. Fearful that it might run afoul of government investigators, the company became listless in its marketing efforts, with no clear direction forward. After Attorney General Janet Reno took Microsoft to court, Bob Herbold, then Microsoft's COO, called a meeting of the minds to calm people down and get everybody on the same page. The attendee list was a who's who of Microsoft communications, including the company's chief counsel and its head of PR. At one point, an executive with responsibilities in community affairs stood up to speak to her mind. She painted a picture.
Where's my mom?
She went downstairs with Dollar again.
What? And my sister?
In the room.
No wonder. You dare.
There what? Alright. I'm gonna continue reading later. Thanks for reading with me. Bye.